Hello and welcome to my beautiful room here in Costa Rica. Today is finally the day that I'm gonna do Bufo, 5-MeO DMT, also known as the God molecule. I've been waiting years to do this psychedelic, and I've been presented it a couple times that I've been here in Costa Rica. It's been 10 months since I've been here, and I've never really resonated with any of the facilitators. I also told myself I'm gonna wait till the end of my trip to do it, and this just feels right. I've been able to live in this beautiful house for the last 2 weeks. I'll be here for another month. I'm hosting my third retreat here in just 2 weeks. Super excited about that. So the facilitator is coming here to the house and going to be facilitating it for me. I'm going to record it, and hopefully you guys will see my experience, and then I'll talk about my experience after as well. Always setting an intention with any kind of psychedelic that I experience. My personal intention is to teach me something I need to know about myself. So I'm not sure what's going to come up, but we will see. All right. It's been about 3 weeks since I did Bufo. I was reluctant to share the experience after I did it because it was so deep, personal, and profound, and the facilitator told me that if I share the experience, and this is true about all psychedelic experiences, they're very personal, and sometimes if you share them, they kind of lose a little bit of the sacredness. And also I feel that if you share your experience with psychedelics with people who have not experienced the psychedelic, or any psychedelics for that matter, it can take away how you personally feel about your experience and make you kind of question things and lose its validity, if that word makes sense to you. But I am telling you guys my experience because I do feel called to share it. So here it goes. So when we did our experience, it was me and a friend of mine. The facilitator gave us half a dose each to start out with, just so we can get familiarized with Bufo. If you guys don't know what Bufo is, it is a venom that comes from frog that you smoke. It's pure DMT. It's also called 5-MeO DMT, or better known as the God molecule. It could be anywhere from, I think, 10 to 20 minutes long, maybe even 7 minutes to 20 minutes. It's a condensed version of ayahuasca is pretty much what it is. And you're kind of in and out really quick, and when you're in it, time to stop, so you don't really know how long it's that you're in it. And then when you're out of the experience, it's super blissful, and then you kind of return back to normal, and you're just like in a really calm state for the rest of the day. So we did it kind of earlier in the morning, around 11, I believe, and we had fasted that day. No caffeine, no food, just water. I did drink decaffeinated coffee, that was okay. The facilitator came, and as I said, we both did half a dose. So it gives you this pipe, and you smoke it, and you inhale it, and you inhale, then you take another inhale, and you hold your breath, and then the shapes are coming, and you just I just let go, and I passed out, and that was half a dose. So during this half dose, I had a message that I had received during an ayahuasca journey that I did last year with about 17 women in Barcelona with a female shaman. And that message was that in my lineage, my ancestral lineage between my mom's side and my father's side, for those of you who do not know, I am of Chaldean nationality. I was born in Baghdad, Iraq, and both my parents are Chaldean. Chaldeans are one of the oldest cultures in the Bible. If you're familiar with King Nebuchadnezzar, who built the Tower of Babel. Babel was this tower that actually supposedly is the reason why we have all these different languages. He built this Tower of that was supposed to be to the heavens and to reach to God, but God confused the people and turned them to speak different languages. The reason why I'm mentioning this specific story is because King Nebuchadnezzar was a Chaldean king. So that is very early Bible times, and as I said, the Chaldeans were not God's chosen people, but they were very old, ancient. It's a very ancient culture. And I was born Catholic, but then my mom became a Jehovah's Witness, and before Catholicism became part of my culture, there was things like reading the fortune in coffee, stargazing, fortune telling, mediumship. This was really deep in my ancestral roots. And then came shame on top of the ancestral roots with sexual trauma that has been really prevalent through my ancestral line. Shame on top of really hiding our emotions and not really talking about real genuine matters. So this I already knew to be true. So during my last ayahuasca journey with all women in Barcelona, I was told that out of both my mom's side and my father's side of my lineage, that I was the chosen human to be finally brought into this world to bring forth freedom, clarity, and finally the releasing of the shame from all the ancestors past, that I was the human that was strong enough to allow the shame to finally get free, and to finally live this liberated life for all my ancestors, my female ancestors, who were just stay-at-home moms, or who were just a wife to a husband, who really didn't have a voice, who was most probably sexually abused, whether it was from family members or from their spouse or from multiple people. This is really big in my ancestral lineage. I personally know not only the women, but also the men. So the message that I got last year during this journey was that I was finally this version of a human to bring into the world, to bring forth finally the releasing of all that. And I needed to separate myself from my family and my culture to bring this clarity. So I am a person who used to suffer from severe anxiety. I used to have anxiety attacks probably about once a week. This was about 10 years ago. Once I started working with plant medicines about 7 years ago, along with having a supportive husband, I haven't had anxiety at all, and I do not reflect back on my past. I used to always go back to my past, and I was much more of a victim. But now I'm like the hero of my own story, and I'm just reflecting on now and to the future. So this medicine gave me that message, like, you are the chosen human to bring about forth this beautiful clarity. And the reason why I have this really calm disposition about me is because I finally reached the point in my life where I've really let go of all the past trauma that I have. I've been working on so much of it, and especially these last 6 months, I've been really working on my abandonment and my codependency, and I feel like I've worked through that enough now. Now I feel really content on my own, even though I still have a wonderful husband that I'm gonna go back to in just 6 weeks. I'm really looking forward to connecting with him back in Sweden. So that was the message that I got from the first dose, and it was really, really powerful. And I felt my ancestral lineage, my female's ancestral lineage, just cheering me on and rooting me on. And it was really, really powerful. And it was the same message that I got last year. And then the other girl that was with me, the facilitator asked who wants to go first on their full dose. And keep in mind that not all facilitators do it like this. I've just talked to a girl recently that is going to Mexico and doing Bufo and combo at the same time. So combo is another toad medicine, and it's not a psychedelic, but it's all about purifying and clarifying your system, so then the combo can go deeper. And she was going to do a ceremony in Mexico. So this is kind of like a new thing to do together. And some people just do one shot of combo. So the fact that one shot of Bufo. So the fact that we did half a dose and then a full dose was really special. So then the facilitator asked who wants to go first for the full dose, and I allowed my friend to go first because she didn't have like the best experience during this half dose that we did, and I saw she was getting a little anxious. So I specifically said I would love for her to go first because I would love for her to experience it, and I would love to watch her, and I would love to help as well. So I'm really just getting in touch with my own mediumship and my own energy work, and I know for a fact that I do have the ability to work with energy and Reiki, and this is something that I've been knowing probably for over 20 years as a massage therapist. When I was in school 24 years ago, I did a Reiki session for a girl and she started crying, and I just remember like being really afraid of my own personal energy that I was able to transmit to this girl. And I think that stayed dormant for like 20 plus years, and it's only last year that I've been in touch with my Reiki energy again, or I don't even know what it's called, but it's something that I have where I can actually work on somebody hands-free and just use my hands and really connect with them. Anyways, going back to my story. So my friend did her journey and was able to let go and work through her experience. And then it was my turn. My turn was, I took it and I completely fell back and I surrendered, and my body started moving. I remember my hands were going back and forth. I was making really visceral kind of angry noises, and it was, again, my ancestors coming back to me. And the message very loud and clear that I heard was that I was put on this earth to help women heal through their ancestral trauma that they have, and that I'm supposed to facilitate a retreat here in Costa Rica next year for Chaldean women, and that I'm supposed to connect specifically with this one woman who also works with plant medicine in Michigan, who's a psychologist, and she and I had a talk a couple days later. So the plant medicine said, you need to connect with this woman, and you two are gonna have a retreat here in Costa Rica, possibly around September, and possibly around 8 women. And I'm gonna have at least one retreat with her in September. So that message was really, really strong, that I'm supposed to be helping women with ancestral trauma. And ancestral trauma for me doesn't mean like 25 generations back. It literally means like getting to know what your parents' trauma was that you're still holding on to, getting to know how your grandparents parented their parents or your parents. So how your grandparents' trauma carried on to your parents' trauma, then carried on to you, because I truly believe that we inherit our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents' trauma just as much as we inherit their features. So getting to understand the ancestral trauma that we still carry, and I'm supposed to help people end it with them. So I now share with my clients that I want you to know that I want to help you as best as you can, as best as I can, and as best as you can. Learn about your parents and your grandparents and what you have carried on through that lineage, and help you understand and connect with the most authentic part of you that is no longer carrying all of this trauma carried on through your ancestors, so you can connect with your most authentic self, which is love and truth. So I got the message, like I said, about 3 weeks ago. I just facilitated a retreat for 2 women, one that came here from California and one that came here from Las Vegas. And we did San Pedro and psilocybin together, and I'm getting goosebumps. It was the most profound 2 psychedelic experiences I've ever facilitated, and I've facilitated probably close to 100 in the last 5 years. And the message that I got with the ancestral trauma and helping these women work through this has just been so profound. So this is the message I kind of wanted to share, that not only am I here to help people work with the their intentions that they're coming to me for, whether it's childhood trauma, neglect, abandonment issues, relationship issues with their partners, relationship issues with themselves or their parents. I am supposed to help people understand their trauma that they still have carried on through with their parents and their grandparents, and I'm supposed to help them connect to their most purest and authentic self, because it is a lot that we still carry. So this is just a message that I wanted to share, and yeah, I felt really called to share it, and I hope this whole video makes sense and you get to understand my experience. And I'm super excited to be holding more retreats to help people work through ancestral trauma and to help them connect to their most authentic self. This is something I will be doing here again in Costa Rica next year, starting in September, and facilitating small private retreats. I will never facilitate a retreat with like 16, 18, 20 people. The last retreat I have was 2 women. I have a retreat in December with only 2 women. I don't see myself holding bigger retreats than 4 people. The retreat that I will be holding in September with this other Chaldean woman, we might have 8 people. So it would be the 2 of us together facilitating that, and we might have an assistant. So that is the insight that I got from this beautiful frog venom Bufo, and I feel so connected to my female ancestors, and I feel so supported by them. I know that they're cheering me on, and I'm still currently trying to connect more with my mediumship and to see that through me. I know I have something that is linked to my father's side of the family, so I'm trying to see how I can develop that more. Yeah, this is all, I'm just getting curious with it. So instead of getting afraid of it, which I was before, and saying like, I don't feel ready and I'm not responsible, I don't feel ready to carry on this responsibility, I feel really ready to, again, I'm getting goosebumps. I feel really ready to carry on this responsibility of helping people in such a deep and profound way. I'm really excited. I don't know what's in store, but all I can do is surrender and trust the process. And I look forward to whatever that looks like for me and for the future, for myself, to help with my clients, wherever I'll be living in the world. I've been really loving this nomadic life. This is the 15th place I've lived in just this year. I will be moving 2 more times, one more time here in Costa Rica, and then I'll be moving December 20th. I'll be heading back to Sweden. So yeah, it's been amazing to travel around the country here in Costa Rica and to have met so many beautiful people, to be working mostly online and holding retreats toward the end of this year. And yeah, so thank you again for watching this video. I hope this video makes sense, and I will talk to you guys later.